So, welcome back, everybody, to what I hope is the ninth episode of the life and suffering of Sir Brante, if I remember correctly. Oh well, if it's not, I'll have to. But I'm recording this about an hour and 15 minutes before my class, and these years usually take an hour, and I still have to walk to class. So let's just get right into it right away. Don't hold back. No summary, no nothing. If you watch the last video, you have the summary. So, year 1139, the Archduke and the Overseer. Two powerful lords have been struggling for power in Magra for over 2 years now. The new overseer of the province, Gaius Tempus, cannot seem to rein in the obstinate spirit of Archduke Tarquinius Milanitis. Unwilling to accept that he is no longer the overseer of Magra, the Archduke still stubbornly continues to assert his right to rule the province. Most of the Magran gentry who swore allegiance to him generations ago remain loyal to him even now. Gaius Tempest has publicly demanded that the Archduke recognize the overseer's rule as legitimate. One thing that I do find is a little bit weird about the game, because it tells you at the beginning what all of the different things could be, which I think is a good because it lets you to try to get certain endings, but it also spoils that, hey, Gaius Tempest and the Archduke are going to have the conflict. That's going to be the revolt. But it is pretty obvious from all this, but still, it's kind of weird. I am the voice and the will of Emperor Uthu II in the province of Megara, all lands, deeds, and titles notwithstanding. Archduke Milanitis must obey his sovereign's will and heed his decree. I hereby extend to the Archduke an offer of peace. Should the Archduke cease his insubordination, his lands, deeds, and titles shall remain his own. The Archduke's response to the Overseer was openly defiant. Since the days of yore, the land of Magra has belonged to the Milanitis dynasty. We are part of the Empire, and we are the Emperor's loyal servants. However, our dynasty will not stand for such intrusion upon our lawful rights and privileges. Never before has an Archduke been stripped of his right to represent the Emperor's rule in his own province. So do not forget, Sir Overseer, that the highest noble families of Magra have shown fealty to me, and me alone. Privileges. Little privileged. Neither the Archduke nor the Overseer will relent, but both are too powerful to be readily disposed of. The bad blood between the two Arcanians has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay the price for their strife. Stripped of the Overseer's tax privileges, the Archduke Milanitis has decided to impose his own levy upon the citizens and villagers of Magra. The commoners are now forced to pay taxes twice, first to the Overseer and then to the Archduke. This double burden is too much for the common people of Magra to bear. Many have refused the second tax outright as a meaningless measure, as a lawless measure. But the Imperial Legion, led by young Doris Otten, is ruthless. Eagerly and without mercy, the Legion soldiers collect the Archduke in cities and village alike. I wonder what he's probably threatening people. I wonder what other shady tactics he's up to. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yikes. Security, -1. Peace, brought it down, and then struggle for power completely in the middle now. Overseer and power. Commerceer. A gift for the family. This last year has been an ordeal for your family. The pains taken to be ennobled by the sword, the close attention of the city aristocracy, the squabbles between Stephan and Gloria. Tonight, your preoccupied father has gathered your entire family around a table in the backyard. The sun is almost set, and there's a soft breeze in the air. But, instead of a meal in the open air, you're going to attend a family meeting. In the middle of the table, you see an open, gilded box. It is full of jewels. Archduke Milanitis himself has bestowed this gift upon us. It is a surprise indeed. I thought you all had a right to know. Father unfolded a letter laying beside the box. Sir Robert Brante, I bestow this precious box upon you and your family as a symbol of the care for which I treat the people of my province. Pray accept this gift, and remember who with whom the loyalty of the true nobles of Megra lies. Archduke of Megra, Turcanius of the Milonitis. The family stares in amazement at the jewels sparkling in the last rays of sunshine. It's worth quite a fortune, but the Archduke is fully aware that I'm on the side of Prefect Elborn and Overseer Gaius Tempest. Could he really expect our loyalty to be bought so brazenly? On the other hand, the Archduke is not demanding anything of us, and our family has borne a lot of expenses recently. Okay, I gotta get the... Father, no one is forcing you to side with the Milonitis. Who are we in comparison to the Archduke anyway? We must not anger him by refusing his gifts. The jewels are certainly welcome. They're worthy of being shared with the best families of Anazot. They will pave our way to the nobility of the sword. Mother shakes her head glumly. Oh, Robert, I have a feeling this gift bodes ill. It may be impertinence on my part, but I do not want our family to be indebted to the Archduke. Certainly not. Accepting gift from Milonitis, he's infamous for oppressing the commoners and robbing villages blind with his taxes. This isn't your decision, Gloria. It's a matter of a family's honor and reputation. Please, just don't start bickering again. Let Parson say what he thinks we should do with this gift. You are the center of attention now. Your vote will be the deciding factor. We can give the jewels to prominent nobles as gifts, which gives us reputation +2. That's... Decline the gifts, which gives us unity +2. Or we can sell the jewels, which gives us wealth +2. That, oh my god, that's a hell of a decision. So this one gives me diplomacy and scheming, reputation. This one gives me unity, willpower, and valor. And Archduke Milonitis gets a -1. Or we sell the jewels. This is a tough decision, dude. What the heck? The thing is, they're +2s. That would put us up at 8. But we could really use the wealth. But we could also really use the unity. Oh, shoot. God. The thing is, I don't think I can take this. Just because, even though I want to, because I don't think we can take another hit. No, we're at 4. Because we could take a hit at unity. It would give our... Oh, we probably want... Honestly, though, we really do want to get some wealth. Because we have enough reputation right now. I think we should... Like, that gives me... That gives me 5 willpower, though, too. It gives me +1 diplomacy, too, though! Ah! I do really want diplomacy. Oh, fuck. The thing is... Oh... all of these are good options. Diplomacy and reputation. Wealth, but minus unity. I think we did take that hit to our wealth, though. To settle that thing with Stephan and Gloria. I think we might need the wealth. Oh, Jesus, though. Those are both good. This is all good. This is all good. We are so poor, that's the thing. Uh... doesn't hurt our unity either. Just give us +2 unity. Ooh, I just don't know. I don't know what to do. But now I look at it, it's just like these are stats, and like yeah, we are poor, but I think we can make money somewhere else. I mean, I don't know if I want to pass up these benefits. One of these, reputation +2 or diplomacy +1, or unity plus. I think I'm gonna take the reputation +2 and diplomacy +1 because I want to get to 15 diplomacy. Because I want to get. No, we are already influential. Uh, I think I'll do this. This is not an easy decision though, just because I think it's good. I think we gain reputation now, so we can use it later for achieving these things later. That's kind of my thought process right now. Is it gives me diplomacy 2 in order to do that. So I will give the jewels as prominent. Because like for 2 reputation, dude, it's like it doesn't hurt our unity. You agree with Stephan. A gift from the Archduke is not to be refused. It would be better to use it for a more important goal, obtaining the nobility of the sword. You and Stephan will determine when, how, and whom the gift will be given. I'm inclined towards the same solution. Let it be so. I'll send a note to the Archduke expressing our humblest gratitude. But I'll point out that I don't mean to change sides. I still serve my prefect and my overseer. Be careful, father. The Melanitis house is not to be trifled with, but the Archduke will have nothing to reproach you with. Parsons and I will put the jewels to good use. You and Stephan spend the next couple of weeks arranging meetings and attending receptions and feasts. You discover that you are on par with your brother in your understanding of the nobility of Anazote, including their relations and their quirks. The generous gifts and the refined manners your brother and you display before the aristocrats allows your family to rise in their esteem. There is but one disadvantage. You do not have a single coin tucked away in the family treasury. Yeah, that's very true. We do need to get money in the future, but we're now renowned among nobles, and we got some diplomacy and scheming, which is nice. Yeah, we need to get money definitely, but because our family name isn't gonna mean anything if we don't have something to back it with. The power of the law. You have just completed your first year of service at the prefecture. Several days after your second year begins, there is a knock at your door. You look up from your paperwork and tell the visitor to come in. Sir Elborn's secretary slips inside quietly. The prefect has an important matter to discuss with you in his office. Augustine Elborn looks weary and aged, but he greets you with his usual characteristic warmth. You take a seat in his comfortable chair across from him. Sir Elborn asks his secretary to pour you and take him some wine. Ah, Sir Brante, good to see you. I hope the judge's trade has come to you easily now. I must admit, I've been watching your first case closely. You already had to resolve a rather difficult land dispute between a commoner and a noble. We will even see more litigation of this kind in our province in the future. Now, it's time for you to answer an important question. In this great dispute between the two estates, where will you stand as a judge? Take a look around you. Life in the Empire as we know it is changing. It is our duty as nobles and judges to make peace between all estates on the basis of the law. However, the prefecture faces a great hindrance in the pursuit of this goal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Many nobles are still determined to abide only by the traditions of old, especially the Arcanians. For these nobles, the only law above them is the court of honor, where noble ranks and duels decide everything. They reject the jurisdiction of the prefecture and outright defy the newer laws and regulations of the empire. Okay, so that's what the court of honor is that they were talking about. It's where nobles settle their disputes. This is to say nothing of what happens when an Arcanian has a dispute with a human commoner. Some Arcanians would rather cut a human down than waste time on what they see as pointless litigation. Even though the law says that all the Emperor's subjects have the right to a fair and just trial. One of the most flagrant violators of the law is Dorius Otten, the commander of our province's military. You've encountered him before, haven't you? That Arcanian noble is a notorious duelist. Anyone who crosses his path risks insulting his honor. His sword has ended the lives of many human nobles, not to mention all the commoners who have been unlucky enough to run afoul of him when he was bored. This guy's obviously a dick. Surely you realize, Brante, that these are the only ones who can protect these people. The low-born lot forbids the commoner to arm himself, and even those who would rather defy their lot have no chance against Dorius Otten, one of the most skilled Arcanian swordmasters. Otten cannot be allowed to commit murder with impunity. We have to stop him, and all the others who act as he does. Imperial law must prevail over their barbarous traditions. But as of now, I have no authority to put Otten on trial. Our province still abides by the old traditions, and humans are powerless against the dynastic power of the Arcanian aristocracy. Putting an Arcanian on trial for his crimes would be unthinkable at best. We have to work gradually to change this, Brante. I need you as an ally. What we have to do is strengthen the power of imperial law in Magra, so that eventually everyone will respect the law, from humble beggars to high-born Arcanians. We must show everyone that the law is not a noble instrument of oppression against the common folk. Like the divine law, imperial law must stand above all, with no regard for birth, rank, or title. This is why I've decided to address you today, Parsons Brante. Side with the law. Side with your father and myself. Side with justice in every case always, no matter who stands trial before you, be they lowly commoner or noble elite. With enough precedence, we might have a right to end highborn tyranny and ensure that law is respected throughout the province. It's like, except I'm looking at your case file here, and you made like a very suspect decision, I would say, for your own personal gain. But I must warn you, even at the prefecture, I am not all-powerful. Many judges oppose my point of view. Not openly. At least, not yet. But I am certain they will work against us in the shadows. Now, Brante, what is your answer? Are you ready to side with me and change our province for the better? Are you prepared to support me against the high-handed gentry and defend the common folk from the likes of Dorius Otten? We can or reject his offer. I will side with... Oh, I see what's happening. You make a promise and you can betray him later. Yeah, but I do think Augustine's L-born, from what I can see from him, is he seems like a actually good guy, that not just saying this for his own, for his own good, that he really wants, the best for people in law, just the law to be the word. So I will side with Elborn, even though I can get why you would reject it, because now I'm gonna get an opportunity to betray him now. But I think this is a guy I can hopefully side with. I can trust. He's looked after me for so long. You nod energetically, determined to support Elborn and bring nobles and Arcanians under the rule of imperial law. You realize the risks, but for the future of the Empire and its subjects, you are willing to face them. He sealed the promise with a handshake. The prefect leans back in his big chair and points at the glasses full of wine. I never doubted you, Brante. With your potential and youthful zeal, nothing will stop us. And now a toast to the triumph of law in Magra. Your glasses clink melodically. The prefect takes a sip, then puts the glass down to instruct you further. Remember to be cautious. Between the powerful nobles and many other judges at the prefecture, there will be no shortage of enemies on the path. There will be times when I am unable to help you, My own position is much too unstable as it is. So please do not draw too much of their ire. Letting their wrath reach you is the last thing I want. Last but not least, we mustn't be hasty. If we move too fast and enforce the law against the nobles too soon, they might take up their swords as they have before. We have to prevent an uprising and avert bloodshed. Yeah, that's, I could just say, that's why I made the decision I did. But yeah, it really was as I wanted to try to keep a balance. I couldn't just too openly side with the commoners. At all times, be just, but also wise and alert. I'm glad to see you on the side of justice. I'm coming on you. I'm coming on you. Oh my god. I'm counting on you. And you can count me in return, Princess Brante. May luck be with you in service to the +2. Just might as well give me the +4 while we're at it. We're very close. You return to your office, your desk covered with endless paperwork as always. At first glance, nothing has changed, but now you realize the great and important cause working quietly behind your daily grind. Deep in thought, you sit at the desk once again. What fate awaits you in service to this cause? So he's now being mucho fan of us, and we get the promise. So a promise to Alborn. You gave Alborn a promise to support him in his fight against the tyranny of the nobility. Alrighty then. What's up next? An old friend. Night is falling over Anazote. Was it going to be Tomas? Is it going to be our buddy Tomas? The stifling heat gives you to an eagerly anticipated freshness. After a day of work, you stroll home at a leisurely pace. You turn down a side street that you have known since you were a little boy. As if your legs are acting of their own accord, bringing you to a place of your own childhood play. The remnants of the wooden ford. So much has changed since the days when you used to play here with your little friends. Engrossed in your memories, at first you fail to notice that you're not alone here. A tall figure in the uniform of a Legion officer approaches you. You see unruly brown hair and a twinkle in his eyes. It is Tomas. Ha ha ha, look at him, dude. He looks good. Now that's a surprise. Hi, Brante. Fancy running into you the moment I'm back in town. Your childhood friend puts his arm around you. Our battalion got transferred here recently. We're under the command of the Magra Legion now. I'm keeping the peace and maintaining order in my very own province. I wonder what side Tomas here is going to side with. Well, why don't we catch up? Let me buy you dinner. We'll have a little chat. Remember the old days. Tomas cuts himself short. You suddenly notice how much older he looks. His face has become sharper and rougher, and his eyes are filled with exhaustion rather than the usual mischievous sparkle. I should warn you, though, Parsons. I ain't the best company nowadays. I've managed to get myself some powerful enemies already. I'm a friend who could taint your good name. So if you'd rather not be seen with me, well, I understand. The smile on his face starts to fade. Walk away? We cannot do that. So we're going to have dinner with Tomas, which gives us +10 willpower, -1. See, this is how... Now we have an excess of reputation. Now that we can make choices like this, and I can't walk away. Wait, so you can get back in the situation if you're not on the path of the nobleman? Interesting. I wonder how I'm very curious how the other paths work, but definitely it's our only choice, and it would have been the choice I wanted to make anyway, because we gain excess reputation so that we could then leverage it. You give Tomas your hand. You shake hands firmly. So you haven't got your old friend, Brante. That's the way it ought to be. Well, come on then. You go to, what was that sound, by the way? You go to a tavern, reminiscing about your childhood antics on these very streets along the way. You choose a table in the far corner of the tavern. Tomas orders a bottle of good wine and some food. You talk about your latest case, about your first years back at Anzo. You share family news, your quest to become nobles of the sword, the quarrels between your elder brother and sister, your mother's health. Tomas nods with concern. Sounds like you've had some tough times. Your family's always been different. Mine, on the other hand, is same as it ever was. My pa's always his workshop, and ma's always doing chores. But look at me. I came home a service-class nobleman. Although, it doesn't bring me much joy anymore. Tomas is suddenly grim. You ask your old friend to share his troubles with you. He quickly glances around the room and lowers his voice. Well, I'm a captain in the Magran Legion now. And who's our commander? His Excellency, Doris Otten. That's right. I serve under the name of the same Arcanian whose toes I stepped on back in Eterna. And you better believe he remembers me. I'm afraid things are gonna end real bad. But hey, I'll figure it out somehow. Don't trouble yourself over it. Apart from that, well, it's the usual service. We impose order in uppity towns and villages, protect the province, that sort of thing. And we run drills all day long, obviously. If only you knew how sick I am of the barracks parsons. I thought about starting a family, but Ma keeps telling me to find a nice girl to marry. She says it's high time I got hitched. It is completely dark, and you're still talking. Finally, Tomas remembers that his parents are waiting for him. You get up from the table, leaving some dirty dishes and quite a few empty bottles behind. On the way out, you catch a glimpse of a nondescript figure following you to the door. As you walk alongside Tomas through the home neighborhood, you keep glancing over your shoulder. But the shadow that was following you has disappeared. Oh, it's a noble spy gonna rat on us. You reach your street and stop for a while in the semi-darkness between your family homes, just as you used to all those years ago. Bah, Brante, I hardly ever come to Anazot these days. Our battalion is always on the march all over the province. But twins willin', we'll see each other again real soon. Well, that's good. So he has the conflict with Dorius Otten. So likely he can make a decision to split with us against Dorius Otten later. I wonder if there's a path you can take where you side with. There has to be where you side with the Archduke and Dorius Otten. I would have to guess they allow you to do that. You advise your friend to safeguard his every life. Yep, +3. Yep, and we'd get -1. But now we are will powered up, BB. We can make some tough decisions. The newspaper case. Your first year at the prefecture has come to an end. You are not a young student anymore. You know now that a judge's trade means so much more than knowing the law and carrying it out. Resolving a litigation of any importance requires striking a balance between the code of law, high society's opinion, and the whims of the provincial powers that be. Your second year is beginning, and it feels much tougher already. Trampled by the nobles, the commoners seek help, and so they turn to the law. They turn to you. A carriage takes you through the silver district of Anazot. It is early morning. You just received a letter bearing the seal of the city hall. Remy L. Varman, the magistrate of Magra himself, wishes to see you at once. It's an interesting thought. Is like the court is really the leveling field between like the rich and the poor. It's one where you're supposed to pursue on what's just and what's right, but there's so many other factors at play that you have to take into consideration. So it's very interesting, and it's a shame that in so many parts of our country, we don't have adequate legal resources. Lawyers are constantly overburdened, having only a couple minutes, if that, to review a person's case. I think it would be great if we could build our legal system up, bolster it. More public defenders, more better treatment of the law. The mere sight of the magistrate's invitation is enough to make you scowl. There's no doubt about your newest case regarding the Quorum Gazette, which may spell trouble for everyone involved. A provincial legislator, the Lesser Quorum, governs the volume and distribution of taxes in Magra. After a new law created by the Emperor's own brother, Cornelius Tempus, several years ago, Commoners of considerable wealth were granted representation in the quorum on par with the nobility, thus forming the lower quorum. Now the representative of the lowly estate formed a newspaper of their own, and this quorum gazette, distributed all over Anzode, fervently argues for commoners' rights in provincial governance. The man behind the newspaper is Meyer Egmont, a well-off industrialist and the owner of several silver mines, and it was his article and his demands that brought about this litigation. You take out a newspaper and read Egmont's article printed within. It addresses Imperial Overseer Gaius Tempest directly. We demand that the Sir Overseer Gaius Tempest cease his habitual disregard for our meetings. Oh, excuse me. For our Emperor Uther II, we have received the lawful right to assemble and sit in the lesser quorum. And we say to the Overseer, our voice must be heard. Our message must be accepted. The carriage stopped in a square by a luxurious building. This is the City Hall, where imperial officials manage all domestic and economic matters of Anzode. You were escorted up a long, winding staircase to the door of the magistrate's office. You now stand before Remy L. Vermont. The magistrate maintains a haughty bearing in spite of his venerable age. His face bears the old, sharp features so commonly found among the old aristocracy. So I just want to see Patriarch Cassus. Here. Okay. Yes. Sir Judge. You're from the Brante family, I believe. I appreciate the prompt arrival. I'd rather not waste your time and get right down to business. The matter for which I've called you here is urgent indeed. You're judging a case against a newspaper by the lesser quorum, are you not? I've had a torrent of complaints about it from the most venerable members of the quorum. They say Mayor Egmont has insulted Gaius Tempest, overseer and Arcanian for the Emperor's own great dynasty. And I say they're absolutely right. The Emperor gave those uppity commoners a hand in managing the province's very well-being, which is already a violation of their lowly lot. But no, that wasn't enough for them, it seems. You've earned the mantle only recently, Sir Brante, but you must realize this is an affront to the honor of the entire nobility. I expect you to do your duty to judge it, and immediately find a pretext for shutting down their pathetic gazette. Elborn, your prefect, might think otherwise. However, Sir Brante, if you exercise enough wisdom and cunning, I'm certain you'll realize what position is most beneficial to you. With your youth and potential, it will do you good to have powerful friends on your side. I'm sure you will reach the only appropriate and just verdict when closing this case, and I hope that you'll be duly judicious. For now, farewell. So we're basically getting bribed. You return to the prefecture lost in thought. Sir L. Vermont is right. Your word is all it will take to shut down the lesser quorum newspaper. As a judge and nobleman, you do not even need a reason. The people running the Gazette are mere commoners, no matter how wealthy they might be. There was no breach of law, however. Mayor Egmont's article simply requested that the Overseer Mager hear what the lesser quorum has to say. You can reject the nobility's complaint and thus show the commoners that they may rely on the prefecture's justice, but Sir L. Vermont and many fellow judges will be outraged. Father learns that the case has been assigned to you. He visits you and offers some advice. You're in quite a predicament now, son. If you try to appease one party, the other will be furious. Wouldn't you rather see if there's a way to make peace between them? We could host a party at our estate and invite both Mayor Egmont and the noble elders from the quorum. If you are successful at diffusing their quarrel, no one will reject if you decide to legitimize the quorum gazette. Even L. Vermont won't be against you if the nobles stop complaining. However, Father is not your only visitor of note that day. Shortly after the door closes behind him, the familiar face of Judge Carlo Facograbin appears in your office. He looks around cautiously before speaking his mind. Hey, yo, I heard you've been ordered to deal with that newspaper run by wealthy commoners. It's a complicated thing indeed. If you ask me, work like that deserves to be rewarded. Why not make the most? Are you literally going to bribe me? You're quite close with Prefect Del Baron, aren't you? Almost related, as it were. What if you were to shut down the paper and seize the printing press? All it would take is Sir Prefect's signature. And my friends among the quorum nobles? Why, they could use a gazette of their own. Jesus, no. I'd be delighted to help you put that printing press in good hands. Just think of it. You would shut down a subversive periodical and help our esteemed nobles spread their message. All while earning a lucrative reward for your efforts. It's quite a coup, really. Everyone wins. Do think of it, Brante. Yeah, except the people that lose. Basically, everyone wins that I care about. He leaves, and you are left alone in your office to deliberate. If you decide to shut down the Gazette, how far should you go? If you should legitimize the periodical, how far will we go? So we could shut down the Gazette, which makes Remy very happy and gives one career minus one justice. Do not shut down the Gazette, which is the opposite. Legitimize the Gazette. Oh, fuck, we have no wealth, dude, but... just give a... or we can seize the printing press. Wealth plus one. Oh, fuck. Dude, oh, I think I need to legitimize the Gazette. But we then need to focus, we're going to have to make harsh decisions in the future. Because our wealth, we're putting our personal wealth on the line to make this happen. Oop, wrong button. That will... legitimize the Gazette. You spend several days scaffolding audiences, exchanging greetings, and presenting invitations to the senior nobles of Anisote. You have to pull all the strings you and muster all your knowledge of Anisote high society. To say nothing of the family funds you spent throwing a suitable party for such esteemed guests. After much effort, both the nobles and the commoners from the lesser quorum have gathered together at your family estate at last. Mayor Egmont, owner of the Quorum Gazette, has accepted your invitation as well. The nobles are clearly vexed at having to tolerate the commoners present, yet they maintain the decorum etiquette demands. You tactfully take advantage of the situation to begin a negotiation. You inform the esteemed gathering that you are the judge handling the case of the Quorum Gazette. In your opinion, a periodical for their legislators is a most useful initiative, but only if the entirety of the lesser quorum shows support for the Quorum Gazette, and only if the Gazette represents the opinions of all of its members, including commoners and nobles alike. Your words are met with a flurry of resentful, shouting, disputing voices. People start to argue. Sometime later, the Gazette owner, Mayor Egmont, takes his turn to speak. He looks almost like a nobleman. Egmont is well-groomed and wears expensive clothing only a wealthy industrialist can afford. Nevertheless, his rough manners, speaking, and boorish posture betray his humble origins. I do say that there's some truth in what you're saying, Sir Brante. We did begin the Gazette without asking the noble sirs for their opinion. Still, if they let us have our articles printed, I'll agree to publish their opinions as well. This leads to another fervent debate. Some nobles reject sharing a periodical with the lowborn, while the more obstinate commoners of the quorum insist they already have the right to publish the Gazette on their own. It takes you no small amount of time and negotiation to bring two sides to agreement. It's settled, then. As the owner of the Quorum Gazette, I pronounce it the official and legitimate newspaper of the lesser quorum, and the noble sirs are invited to publish their articles on the states of affairs in our province. Industrialists and merchants surround you and shower you with praise as a skillful negotiator. Tonight you defended more than a newspaper. You stood up for the entire common estate of the province. Father keeps his distance for most of the party, but once matters are settled, he pats you on the shoulder. Excellent work, son. You chose the path of justice while staying on the good side with the powerful nobility. Even Magistrate Alvermin won't hold this against you. Your career at the prefecture will surely flourish. Let's just hope your notoriety as a protector of the common folk won't harm you in the future. Oh, it definitely will. The night is over. One by one, the esteemed guests leave the Brante estate. the family home you knew so well. You never thought the affairs of the entire province would be one day decided within these familiar walls. We are now tyranny of the nobles, commoners cede power. We're still balancing both very equally, so that I don't like, but and that took some willpower, but we got plenty of willpower to spare. Protector of the people. The people of Anders don't know and praise you, a defender of the common peoples, right after I, as you know, seize their rights with the noble for my own reputation. We just don't talk about that. Is this the end of the chapter? Or nope, doesn't look like it. Let's see how much time I got left. It is 9:24, so I got like 15 minutes more. Today is a big day for the Brante family. The day your family line started. The day when you remember all your ancestors. Tonight, everyone who bears the name Brante must ascend into the family crypt to keep vigil by the tombs. This is a time to surrender yourself at the ancestors and hear their will. The entire family prepares for the event in silence. Stephan has been choosing his apparel since morning, praying anxiously under his breath all the while. The heir has a special place in the family vigil. Even Mother is planning to go with you, though Father tries to talk her out of it. Lydia, I beg of you, stay home. You are far too weak for an all-night vigil in the crypt. Gloria, would you be so kind as to stay with your mother since you cannot join us anyway? Gloria answers in a muffled voice. As you wish, Sir, wherever late Sir Gregor would only be a race to see Mother there. We all remember how their last encounter ended. Father nods curtly, avoiding Gloria's gaze. But at that moment your attention is drawn to their voice in the foyer. Nathan staggers through the door, stumbling over his own feet. He reeks of cheap wine and filled. Oh, don't become a drunkard, my dude. I'm not late, am I? Everyone gazed at him in consternation. Nathan almost falls into Mother and Gloria's arms. Distressed, they fuss over him. Stephan eyes his youngest brother coldly. I doubt there's anything we could have done to allow Nathan a true path into seminary, but I still wonder if it was a possibility. I expected nothing more of you, Nathan. Why can't you even speak a duty to your family when you can't even manage to live by the common lot? Go lie down in the pantry and stay out of your sight. Father, Parsons, it's time. Let's go. Alongside Father and Stephan, you descend into the family crypt. You cannot help but remember paying your last respects to your grandfather 9 years ago. You light the lamps. Dim, eerie flames illuminate the shrine. In the middle of it stands a magnificent stone tomb containing the long-decayed remains of Gregor Brante. You take your places around the crypt and kneel. The all-night vigil has begun. At first your ancestors remain silent. Each of you is left with your own thoughts. Then a low murmur passes around you. The shadows in the corners of the room deepen. The voices grow stronger. You know that the answers of Gregor Brante, long forgotten commoners who you never knew, are trying to talk to you. But then a memory of them has come to life in the darkness of the crypt. They're pleading for something, demanding it of you, calling out to you, screaming. Finally, you hear all that is painfully familiar. Deep, imperious voice echo from the far end of the chamber. It's our grandpapa. It's been a long time since I've seen you all. I hope you bear good tidings. All this time I've been waiting for you to fulfill my mission. Remember, as long as I'm in your blood, I will give you no peace. I did not have my family a noble just to see our line cut short. Our blood time must join the grand flow of the empire, and then each of my descendants will inherit nobility forever and ever. But I do not see any of you before my tomb. Where are you hiding? Where is the head of our family? The man who will speak to me? Where is the man who will heed my will? Father rises from his knees and makes his way towards grandfather's stone tomb. the source of that booming voice. But Stephan suddenly pushes him out of the way. Father takes an indignant step forward, but Stephan firmly bars the way. Stop it, Stephan. You are the heir, but you're not the head of this family. Father, it is not you that Sir Gregor is addressing. Earning the nobility of the sword is my duty to him. He has long forsaken any hope of seeing you achieve it. You must understand that I am the one who must fulfill that duty. Stephan does not let him pass. Father breathes heavily in anger. You can all but feel the frantic beating of both your hearts resonating somewhere within you. Both your father and brother seem to have forgotten that you are here too. Even the restless voices of your ancestors are going hush, waiting for the outcome of this confrontation. So we can side with father, gives us +1 unity, -5 willpower. We can support Stephan's superiority, which gives it's now diplomacy and +5 willpower, but -1 unity. Or I can step forward myself, which gives us +3 valor. Stephan Brante -2, Robert Brante -2, Gregor Brante +2. So it's obviously either we side with father, or I step forward myself. Like, the thing is, if we choose 3 valor now, we don't ever have to focus on getting valor again. Really? Which has a certain benefit to it. And we led up to this moment with the path of the nobleman and the blood tide. So I think I'm going to take it. I'm going to seize my initiative. Well, Stephan blocks your father away. You step forward yourself. Now they're both trying to stop you, but you're already loudly addressing the spirit of Sir Gregor. Sir Parsons of the Brontes is the man who will speak to him. Well, well, look what we have here. It's Parsons himself, a recent nobleman of the mantle and a judge. I must admit, grandson, it has always been my belief that you are not satisfied by the commoner's lot, even when I punished you for your escapades. But are you up to your old tricks again? Do you truly imagine yourself to be the head of this family? What about my spineless son and his rightful heir Stephan? Are you planning to take his place? You look over your shoulder. Father's covered his face with his hands flustered. Stephan is clenching his fist angrily and whispering something under his breath. Since you have been so bold as to speak to me, you will hear my will, Parsons. Dead though I may be, my will still lives, and you are the embodiment of it in the realm of the living. In earning the nobility of the sword is by the great cause of anyone who bears the name of Brante. Your duty by blood is to earn us a place in eternity, just as my duty to look out for you, even from beyond the grave. Your father's follies have become a veritable threat, and it must help you overcome it. You still cater to those foundlings, Lydia and Gloria, risking a permanent blemish about the Brante name. My name! You are but a step away from leading our family to shame and ruin. The thing is, I want to lead the path as I don't want Stephan to rule this family, because I believe he will only pursue the path of the noble, and I don't believe that's the only thing we can pursue. That's why I think I have to make this decision, so we can lead the family towards a better place of respecting both. Your grandfather's authoritative speech is suddenly interrupted by your father. No, father, this is impossible. Even if I must defy your will, I am responsible for Gloria. My honor and my conscience will not allow me to do what you demand. You must accept this or keep on fighting me for all eternity. It is not to you that I am speaking, Robert. Parsons! Take the family cause into your hands. Do not take after your father. Do not shy away from taking responsibilities for your actions. Do what must be done. Cleanse our family of wickedness. You know, I wouldn't have to do anything if I wanted wickedness to remain in our family. because it's already wicked because of you. You do not have time to respond. Stephan's strong arm hurls you to one side. But when your elder brother addresses grandfather instead of you, he is shaking. Zagaga! Pausas must be out of his mind! I am the heir here. I am ready to heed your will. You have heard it, Stephan, and do not let anyone usurp your rightful place again. Otherwise you will lose the very birthright. Stephan answers the ancestor in a very strained voice. I will do my duty to my family, Sir Gregor. Whatever the price, I will pay it. The crypt is completely silent once more. The spirit of Gregor Brante has left. You are alone again. You see tears glistening on Stephan's face. Without a sound, he attaches himself from you and leaves the crypt. Your father casts a disdainful glance at you and follows him up the stairs. You are left in the semi-darkness, alone, with the invisible spirits of the dead that follow your family everywhere, even from oblivion. Whatever the will of your deceased grandfather may be, you have proven before your ancestors that you have the right to hear it on the behalf of the Brante family. The vigil is over. Well, they like me slightly less, but, you like me slightly more. And we are a seasoned warrior now. Oh, we were a seasoned warrior before, but we're almost invincible. Oh, and that, at a good time, leads us into our 22nd year, as I need to be getting to class soon anyway. Wow, I started having to make decisions where there's +2s and +3s, and I imagine soon -2s and -3s on the line. So yeah, our family status, we're fairly well renowned, we have decent unity, and we're poor. You know what? We're definitely going to have to make some hard decisions in the future that lead us towards wealth, because it doesn't matter if our family can't sustain itself, is if we have well-renowned. But, you can always leverage your reputation to ask for help from other people, which is always a thing. So while we're poor now, I believe we will have the ability to recoup and cover, and as long as we aren't have brazen disregard for our wealth, we should do pretty good. We have sworn fealty to Elborn, and we have made a promise to be a protector of the common folk. This is the path that I originally tread when so long ago in that first episode I picked cause as my duty in life, as I believe this is the way to truly change things. It is the much more difficult path, but I believe it is the only one that can lead to any sense of lasting change. So yeah, like I always say, let me know what you think of my decision in the commenters. Would you have spoken up to Stephan and sided with him? Would you have gone with father instead? You would have taken that unity, because it's very appealing to take that unity, but I think I wanted to establish myself as I am willing to be the heir of this family. But that is all for today. So, until next time, see ya. Whoops, I hit the wrong button.